Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. There is the growing rumblings of rebellion, murmurs in the dark, a whispering. There's a little campaign of very quiet conversations in corners. And the subject of these conversations is Lorna Slater. A lot of SNP backbenchers are now seeing that perhaps she's not the person for the role, that she's damaging the party, that she is indeed a buffoon. And so this culmination of all these things coalescing and forming and fomenting rebellion. They want her gone. The word is getting out, and I wonder if her days are numbered. Who knows? We will have a look and see, have a look at this article, see what's going on, and see if she is on her way out, or if there will be a full and final divorce between the SNP and the Greens. Here goes. So Lorna Slater facing growing disquiet from the SNP backbenches over the deposit return scheme shambles. Shambles? If it was a shambles, it would be twice as good as it currently is. It's not even a shambles. The Scottish Greens Minister is understood to be upsetting some nationalist backbenchers due to the way she has presided over the recycling initiative. Well, she has made an absolute pig's ear of it, like she has with everything else she's ever done. Lorna Slater's handling of the shambolic deposit return scheme has led to this growing disquiet within the SNP backbenches as the row surrounding it continues to escalate. The Scottish Greens Minister has been subjected to criticism from opposition parties for how she has presided over the recycling scheme, with numerous disastrous Holyrood performances. Well, she can't look anyone in the eye when she speaks. She has to constantly look down like this at this and just read a pre-prepared script. And if anyone asks her a question, it's back down to the notes, finds the answer, reads it out verbatim. Because she can't think on her feet. She doesn't understand the nuances of what she's talking about. She doesn't have the facts and figures to hand. And so, of course, she just stands there and goes, panics, like so many of them, because they're not very bright, after all. So, and then whenever she's questioned on any kind of detail away from the notes, she just blinks like a rabbit in the headlight. And then sort of, throws out the same old answers as before, and then blames other people. Always blaming other people because it's never her fault. It's not that she is a moron, of course. It's that everyone else is out to get her. Paranoid? Anyway, calls have been made for Humza Yousaf to either sack her from the ministerial role or just take the deposit scheme away from her. But she has soldiered on regardless, giving a statement at Holyrood this week where she accused the UK government of attacking devolution. Yes, because you can't address the actual issue, which is you're a moron who came up with a really bad idea that couldn't be implemented and then didn't do the work on it. Oh no, it's devolution, the UK government, blah, blah, blah. That was it. That's the fallback position. This is not an attack on devolution. If you'd have got your paperwork in on time, you may well have had everything you dreamt of. But you didn't do the work, Lorna, because you're stupid and you're lazy. The position has been supported by the majority of nationalists who have been united in criticising Westminster for reportedly breaching devolution and getting involved in Holyrood business. This is not a Holyrood business. It's Holyrood begging for an exemption to an existing law. That's it. And here's the thing. Imagine they were in the EU and they went to the EU and said, can we have an exemption to this law? The EU would say, no. And then these are the people that this party want to align themselves to. You have to obey the law. They're demanding this exemption. Okay, put your paperwork in. We'll have a look at it. Okay, you're not going to put your paperwork in. Okay, well, we'll wait until we get your paperwork. Still waiting. Oh, eventually it comes. You haven't given us all the paperwork. And then they moan that they don't get the exemption. What is wrong with these people? Anyway, however, there is still a growing feeling among the SNP backbenches that Miss Slater is too inexperienced for her role and that she should have been much more prepared. Inexperienced? The woman has done nothing with her life. She's been thrust into this role. Was it Shakespeare? Some people are born great, others achieve greatness, and still others have greatness thrust upon them. Well, she's had power thrust upon her, but she hasn't got the experience or the knowledge or the skills base to deal with it. It's like, honestly, it's like giving a chimpanzee the control over a jungle. I mean, you just fill it with bananas, wouldn't he? Anyway, the veteran journalist and former STV political editor Brian Taylor claimed that a number of nationalist MSPs have been complaining about her, although they would not be looking to end the Butte House agreement. No, but they do want her gone because they all know she is a moron. But who would you get in their place? Pick someone in the Greens that's not quite as stupid. Nope, I'm at a loss as well. Writing for the Herald, he said, further, the intervention by Alistair Jack has tended to solidify SNP support for the policy and the pact. They are, however, hints of growing disquiet. Basically, what's happened is because the tribal nature of the SNP, Alistair Jack has said, look, you can't do this until you get this, this and this in a row. That's the rules. They've said, oh, that's an attack, and they've all just coalesced. They've circled the wagons around her, but they don't actually want her there. But they just feel obliged to just protect her because of what is a perceived threat, even though it's not real. And they know it's not a real threat on devolution, but they have to act like this because everything has to be seen through that lens of devolution, that lens of independence, that lens of anti-Westminster, even anti-English racism that they have. Some in the SNP feel the Greens are sometimes too swift to claim credit, given they only contribute 7 votes to the parliamentary arithmetic. Some would prefer a stronger focus at Holyrood upon economic growth. There is what may be called an amorphous grouping within the SNP pursuing that aim. The issue of growth is specifically excluded from the governing pact. However, the Tories detect an opportunity. Their aim is to present the SNP and the Greens as a package to suggest to voters that the combination is inimical to Scottish interests. What you have is a problem here. In order to succeed, the Scottish economy must grow. It must become bigger. And to do so means using more resources. The SNP, for all their other faults, are perfectly aware that they need to grow the economy. The trouble is they're so beholden to the Greens that they can't, because the Greens don't want the economy to grow, because a growing economy uses more resources and is bad for the environment. And so you have these two completely opposing views. One knows the majority know it needs to grow the economy. The minority says no. Unfortunately, the majority is so beholden to the minority that they won't do anything, and they are basically stalemate. And you have effectively got a government in Scotland that is not an SNP government. It is a Green government, because the SNP lack the courage, the spine and the ability and the leadership to say enough is enough. We've given you this, that and the other. We have to do this. If you don't like it, tough. We've given you all your things. It's now our turn. And that's the problem they got. And they need to grow. And the Greens are going, kill all the oil. And of course the SNP is officially coming out now. Okay, we'll kill all the oil, because we don't want a high earning industry in Scotland. We don't want a high skills economy. We don't want people coming here from abroad with all their skills and knowledge to help us utilise the resources we have to the fullest extent for the benefit of the Scottish people. We don't want that. That's what they're saying. We want to destroy this industry and take all that money out of the local economy in Aberdeen. That's what they're saying, because that's what the Greens are saying. And so the SNP have to go along with it. And now, stupidly, Labour are going along with this policy as well. I've covered that in a past video. So you have this issue of a government by 7 people. It's a heptarchy. I've just invented that. But anyway, it is. It's governed by 7 people. They are the Greens. And that is the problem they have. And none of them are in any way talented or knowledgeable. None of them have got a clue. None of them have got experience. None of them done a real job. And yet here they are, imposing their will on the Scottish people. Hey. Anyway, I shall round off and come up. When historians look back on this period of Scottish history, they will not do so fondly, of course, but they will laugh, I suppose, at the absolute ineptitude of the SNP to govern, and they will question why the majority party in the House are so held to account by such a small party with no experienced politicians. None of them have been elected to a constituency. None of them. All of the Greens are list MSPs. They don't represent anyone. They don't represent any people. Put it that way. They have fallen in by the strange mathematical quagmire that is, proportional representation. But none of them are capable. They are all morons. And you do have this strange case of the little green tail wagging the little yellow dog. But the little yellow dog should have teeth, and it should bite its own tail here. And yet it doesn't, because Humza Yousaf does not have the ability to say no. He is easily led. He's not very bright. He has no political nous. And he's leading the country into... How can put it this way? If it's much longer, the country may be in a position from which it may never return. If they alienate the oil industry so badly that they pull out, nobody will want to come back, and that will be the end of Scotland and its dream of independence. But it will be the end of the Scottish economy, absolutely the end. And that's what the Greens are pushing for, because that's ultimately what they want. They want us all living back in sort of a medieval economy. They're bonkers, aren't they? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, vote anyone but Green. Let's not give them a seat, and take care.